Hello, Craig Middle School students. Next week is super exciting, almost as exciting as this week was. I know you spent a lot of time on school expectations, how to walk in the hallways, what do I do if I have a problem? So next week is exciting because it is our iPad rollout. So all of you have had iPads in one capacity or another if you've went to school in Craig before. CMS is very, very proud of their iPad program. So we want to make sure everybody knows the expectations of those iPads, and we'll be getting you some extra support on those also. So next week, as long as your parents have done iPad registration, which is part of the online registration, you will be getting your iPad. iPads will stay at school until September 20th. On September 20th, we have an iPad parent night that we hope all of you attend because that is on a Thursday night. If you come to iPad parent night, so you have to come with a parent or a grandparent, you actually get to pick up your iPad and take it home. There'll be all kinds of stations set up, and you'll have to go to about 4 or 5 stations with a parent. It starts at 5:30 at night, and it'll go till 7:30 at night. At the end of the night, if you went through 4 stations, you can pick up your iPad and take it home for your 3-day weekend. So you'll have it for Friday, for Saturday, and for Sunday. Then you'll bring it back to school charged and ready to go on Monday. If you don't come to that night, you won't get to take your iPad home until the following Monday. Okay? So make sure your parents have done that online registration. Check with them so we know that you'll be getting your iPad next week. 8th graders, you will be getting your iPads during first hour on Wednesday. 7th graders, you'll be getting your iPads on first hour on Thursday. And 6th graders, you will get your iPads on Friday during first hour. If you had a problem and didn't get your iPad fixed last year, then you will need to have a conversation with us. So you won't be getting a new iPad until that fee is taken care of. You want iPad insurance. That just protects you in case something happens to your iPad this year. Please, please, please make sure that is also taken care of by the end of next week. For free and reduced lunch students, it's $9. For any other student, it's $30, and you can come pay that in the morning. So get those fees taken care of also. If you did not turn in your iPad charger last year, the cord and the charger, you will not be issued a new one. Eek. So you will have to actually bring a charger from home to keep your iPad charged at school while we're keeping it at school. That will be your responsibility. So you will need to take care of that. Or you can pay the fee for that charger, and then we'll get you a new one out. Okay, so let's go over those expectations. So this, in case your parents are wondering or you want to revisit this is all on the school district website. So the first one we're going to go over is CMS iPad expectations. So as a student, you will have your iPad at school charged and ready to go each day. Students will not contact their parents to bring their iPads. That doesn't happen. And if an iPad is dropped off, they won't get it till the end of the day. If a student does not bring their iPad, their work is still expected to be done. So this just teaches you guys your responsibility. At night, you need to have a plan to have that iPad charged. If that iPad isn't charged, it's going to be a tough luck, and that's going to be a hard lesson when you have to do all of your stuff on paper. So the teachers are not going to let you charge them in the classroom. You need to come prepared every day, ready to go. All iPads will be taken to each class period except for physical education and be placed on desks with lid closed. If you have an electives teacher that also doesn't want iPad, they will communicate that. But the big deal is when you walk into a classroom, guys, iPads aren't open. We have them closed. They are sitting on our desk. We are ready to go and learn, and our teacher will let us know when we're able to access those iPads. Lids will be closed, handled with care, and iPads will not be used during passing periods. So we're not looking up stuff. We're not looking at games. Our head isn't down in that device. Our lids are closed. We hold it with two hands. We're not flipping it around. We take care of that iPad. No school issued iPad will be allowed at lunch or recess. So those stay in our lockers, and they need to be locked in a locker, not left out. Students will not link any other accounts to their iPads. So the big deal is, guys, here is this is just a good strategy for life. My cell phone is my social personal device. I do social media. I do all those fun YouTube videos and stuff on my phone. My computer, my iPad are my work devices. I use them strictly for that. So you guys need to get in the habit of dividing where you're looking at things. And no, my iPad is used for learning. So all iPad apps are loaded by the school district. Okay. If we see that you're linking other things that you're not supposed to, you will lose privileges of that iPad. Okay. So iPads will stay in their cases and are only allowed in a school district approved case. So it's very, very important you're leaving those iPads in that case. Your iPad case will not be wrote on. Your iPad will not be wrote on. But you can slip a paper in the back of your case, in between the back, that says your name, your focus teacher, your grade level, just in case somebody finds it or you leave it out. But really, really, guys, you need to have ownership of that. What I will not be happy about is seeing an iPad laying in the bleachers at a basketball game. Okay, so really take care of that iPad. It's a very big privilege that you have to have those. So screensavers will be appropriate at all times. That's also important. And leave your display settings alone. When you're trying to change it to blue lettering and black background, it gets all messed up, and I'm going to get frustrated if, again, you're more worried about that than the learning on that device. Bluetooth and location device settings will stay on. And that helps us with the reflector and knowing where your iPad is if it does get lost. And AirDrop is not permitted. Students will not take pictures and videos of other students unless it's part of the teacher assigned project. So we're not doing selfies on our learning device. That's a big deal. Passcodes are highly recommended to be the student's lunch number and hard to reset. You're the one setting your passcode. So I don't know it. If you forget it, your teacher doesn't know it. So you need to set it as something that you are going to remember. So it's just easy. You know your lunch number, keep it as that. And no fingerprint passcodes are allowed. Students may access appropriate music on their iPad only if the teacher allows. Students will come to class with earbuds to access when the teacher allows. We're going to have a lot of videos and stuff for you guys to watch. So it's just a good habit in bringing in earbuds, headphones, so you guys have those at whenever your teacher says you can. And the iPad belongs to Moffat County School District. Your school has the right to review any content. So I can walk in at any point and grab that iPad and say, hey, I'm looking at what you're doing in there. I also need you to know this. The school has filter systems. I will get an email, boom, right away if you're doing anything appropriate. Your school email is not to say, hey, Johnny, what's going on after school, ... That's a personal device, okay? I will get alerts with anything inappropriate. Emojis, they searched in a picture, anything like that. I get an alert and I will be notified, and you will lose your iPad privileges. You and your family are if your device is lost, you need to let somebody know immediately. You need to let your teacher know so they can send you right down to the library so we can get that in lost mode. So that's very, very important. If something happens over the weekend, please send Miss Linscomb an email and Mrs. Donna Miles an email so we can get that in lost mode over the weekend also. If your iPad goes dead, then it won't beep, beep, beep. Once your iPad is found, it's very important that you, again, tell your teacher, and then you can get sent down to the library so we can get it out of lost mode. And it does take a couple hours to get it out of lost mode. And so that is just, it's not very fun. So just know I need to keep track of my iPad. Students will be responsible for charging their iPad with their guided study teacher or however that's communicated while our iPads are staying at school. Okay. And then there are natural consequences for misuse of iPad as a learning device. All students are expected to follow the academic matrices. You're not going to get your behavior points if you are misusing that iPad. Okay. So just use it as a learning device and we will have no problems. So what happens if I lose my iPad or I break my iPad? So this is how the flow works. So all iPads this year, last year they went through the office, are going to go through the library. Mrs. Miles will be in there to help you with those concerns. So the first thing is, in your classroom, there should be a troubleshoot. So I'm going to try these things before I even go to Mrs. Miles, okay? I'm going to try and reboot my iPad. I'm going to restart it. I'm going to rotate it. Some apps work better in landscape mode than in portrait mode, okay? Trouble with an app, make sure we're closing our apps, okay? And it won't charge. Well, are you using an adapter that actually charges it? So sometimes those cheap come and go ones don't charge our iPad well. You need to be using an Apple charger. And then if the Wi-Fi is not working, you'll have to go down for Mrs. Miles, but you need to stay on the student Wi-Fi. So what happens if my iPad is broken? Again, this is why we want to have that insurance taken care of. If you break a screen, you've paid your insurance and it wasn't an intentional break, so I accidentally dropped my iPad, then we will get, you're going to go down to Mrs. Miles in the library. You're going to fill out a technology statement and you're going to say, you know, I accidentally dropped my iPad, done deal. And then we're going to put in a ticket to Mrs. Higgins and Mrs. Haddon at the technology department, and we can get you a new iPad turned around really quickly. That is if you've paid for the insurance. If you break your iPad screen again a second time in a year, there will be a fee assessed there. So you do not want to intentionally damage your iPad. If I know, and there's cameras everywhere, that you intentionally damaged your iPad, then it won't even go through iPad insurance. Okay, your iPad will be taken away for the year. Okay. If somebody else intentionally does your iPad, so that means, man, the accidents are going to happen in the hallway, but if somebody grabs your iPad and throws it to the ground, you're still going to go see Mrs. Miles, but then you'll come see me afterwards so we can get that figured out. Okay. If my iPad is lost or stolen, again, you're going to go down to the library to fill out a statement where the last place you had it. You're going to want to make sure you let her know your passcode so when it is found, and then we'll put it in lost mode. You'll hear a beep, 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 beep. And then once you find it, you need to check in with the teacher, and then we'll get you back down again to say that it was found, okay? If you know your iPad was stolen, okay, you just know it was stolen. Again, we have a process of, if it's not found after 2 weeks, we will turn in a police report. And then if it's not found after 30 days, the tech department will have a fee of $150 if they have insurance. If you don't have insurance, then what will happen is you'll have to pay a full fee for that iPad. And those are the CMS iPad expectations. For new student teachers, please review the new student process. And as soon as we get all of their information done, then they will get their iPad, and Mrs. Miles will work with them getting logged into all of their accounts. In a focus for the next couple weeks, you guys are going to be working on some really cool app challenges. It's very important that you utilize your time on there because that iPad not only is a learning tool, but it helps us stay more organized. And so we're going to be doing some cool things with those app challenges. Thank you guys. And if you have any questions, please see your teacher.